Well, I think there's a lot of them. Obviously, 30 years is a long time to be in the same business. We've been very fortunate, I guess, in a strange way. We've been through a couple of recessions, pandemic, and I think what I'm most proud of is we always find a way. We seem to have this can-do attitude, and we have a lot of long-term employees. So I couldn't be more proud of even in the tough times, we find a way to get through it. And sometimes it takes longer than others, but again, this team, I'm just confident we'll find a way to win. I think I said that a little bit earlier in the first question, but going through recessions are really challenging because during that time you have to make really tough choices, and having hard-working, dedicated employees, and then having to say, well, we don't have enough work for those people is incredibly hard. During COVID, we had a really fast lapse of business was gone. Had to put some people and try to protect them during that time, do a RIF, and then all of a sudden the business went crazy. And just difficult when you try to do the best you can for employees and yet people are still hurt. And I think that's the hardest part in general of running a business or being a leader is the emotions that come with your good quality people. The technology has changed dramatically. I mean, we used to interview all employees face to face. We'd meet them where they were at, or they'd come to our office. You could never hire an employee without them physically seeing you in one of the offices. Back in the day, we had 17 offices throughout the country, and you had to have a rooftop. Today, it's about speed. It's about using technology. I think the lost part of that is, it's much, much harder to build a relationship when everything's virtual. It's harder to build loyalty, and so we're working really hard as a company to find ways to, how do you have that connection when it's all about speed? So I would say the two things are less face-to-face, and then our customers are dramatically different. The customer was, go see a customer, get some needs. Today it's, what does the technology say, and try to submit. So overcoming that is, been a challenge, and I think it will continue to be as the world changes to less and less personal and more technology. Well, there'd be a lot of things, but I think in 1995 the advantage I had was I really had nothing to lose, and I just felt like no one's going to outwork me, so I was just going to outwork our competition. So I think if I had to go back 10 years after that, when I realized that I had to build stronger people around me instead of the business being so dependent on me, from a customer relationship, from clinicians, I would have done that sooner. I would have found a way to invest sooner rather than running the business and then adding as we went. Even though I mentioned earlier how the technology has changed, I am so proud when I do go see our customers today and they talk about how they always feel like we're giving the real answer. The service is above and beyond everybody else. We tell our customers the way it really is, and we're not playing games around, put one person in and replace them with another. So I think our service is above and beyond. I think our care for clinicians and customers is higher than anyone else. And so I'm just always proud of, win or lose, we do it with pride, and we don't cut corners to do that. And we have just enormous values of what's important to us. I think the other thing that is really unique is the amount of people we touch of need. Whether it's on a monthly basis, the families we adopt, or the rack event at the end of the year, we just have a really good, caring group of people that are always looking out for others, not just themselves. Yeah, obviously in 30 years we have lots of those, hopefully daily. This business is really tough in far as, it's such a grind of we talk a lot about, play hard, work hard. And so there's lots of laughs because of that. So obviously PRN week always has amazing memories. There's always some chaos that happens and we're not sure how it happened. A couple highlights that I think of off the top are, the cat lady who worked for us, the IT manager that was running across the road as we're all running, and he's laying in the highway and we're all trying to drag him across the road. Employee that forgot to put the car in park and it's rolling through the parking lot and tries to stop it before it runs another car. Or just not recently, out in the parking lot, an elderly guy fell asleep in the parking lot and his car was rolling off the cliff when we dive into the car to jam it in park. And so I know there's always something at PRN, and I think that's what keeps us all going in those tough days, and just trying to celebrate the little wins and laughing at ourselves no matter how crazy it is. I don't know, it's pretty emotional to think about 30 years of really, really hard work. Most people here worked harder than I have because they live it every day, and I say this frequently, and it sounds really odd that our people work harder than I do. I have the job of trying to make sure we're doing the right things and the vision, but the tough stuff comes from those who work for us. So I could not be more proud to be the leader of our company and continue to try to find ways to win. I'm sure many of you wish that I would show that in a different way, and so I work on that daily also. But again, I'm over the top proud of this company and where we've come and where we're going. So I just want to thank all of you for being part of our company, whether you're a clinician for us or internally. Just thank you for being part of PRN for 30 years.